All right, hi everybody. I'm going to walk you through how you get into RGrade to evaluate or analyze the data so that you can create end of the year reports. And I'm going to just show you kind of what I've done. This is just sort of a template. Hopefully it'll make your life easier. So first off, log into RGrade. Mac users, if you haven't already figured this out, you need to be using Safari with RGrade, not Firefox. Don't ask me why. I don't know the answer. I think it's probably to make things a little more challenging. So we go to RGrade, and once this comes up, oh, come on now. There we go. Log in as instructor, password. So you're going to go to the same place you went to enter the data, to record the data for your students. So you go under Programs, and then you should have the program listed here. So musical theater, whatever it is, should be right there. For me, it's the theatrical studies option. And you click on Analysis right here, which takes you to the reporting and data analysis section. And then let's see, the next thing to click on is right here, Performance Reports. Click. And then there are all sorts of different performance reports you can run. I found them to be very confusing, except for, and this is the one Yasmin recommended that we use, Average Rubric Performance. So what this does is gives you a way to visualize how well your students did. And so the couple of things that I did when I looked at this, we in the TSO have sophomore portfolio review, junior, senior, and then Theater 434. We haven't had anybody in 434, so there isn't any data in there. So the first thing I did was I went to the sophomore portfolio review and just leave it wide open all semesters. And later on, obviously, you can put start and end dates in here to filter out previous semesters. But so sophomore portfolio review, all semesters, currently enrolled students, choose the graph format and click submit. So what you get is this is our rubric, and this is the average outcome of how everyone did in the sophomore portfolio review. Here are 4 rubric points. That's, I can't remember what U is. Oh, we'll click on it. Well, no, that's not helpful. Underachieving, I think it is, basic, proficient, and distinguished. And so for each of these, we had the N is how many students we actually assessed. So we have 7 students who we assessed on the sophomore portfolio review. And of those 7, here's our bar graph for how they did on writing. Now, this bar graph isn't very helpful in terms of recording actual data. So if you want to figure out how kids did on one in particular, you just click on the bar, and this handy pop-up window comes up. And it'll show you 28% of our kids in the TSO sophomore portfolio were at a basic level for writing, 57% were at a proficient, and 14% were at a distinguished. If you want to actually look and see which students did well on these things, you click on the Student List tab, and this will load up, and so we'll learn that here are basic students, here are proficient students, and there are distinguished students. Allison Jones is not a sophomore, so there's a problem in the data somewhere. I'll fix that later. So this is just for your information. The easiest thing to do, the easiest place to go for big scores and sort of determinations is right here to overall. So here is overall for the sophomore portfolio review. We had an average performance of 42 kids, 42% of the kids were at a basic level, 57% of the kids were at a proficient level for the whole portfolio, and then nobody was distinguished and nobody was underachieving. And that's 7 total assessments. So that is really kind of how you go through it. one other thing that you want to be doing is identifying which of your students were exemplary performers in each of these levels overall. Um, so the student list will provide you with that. We had, here are some kids who are at basic level, here are some kids who are overall at a proficient level. So those are just kind of things to keep in mind, and I'll show you about that later. So that's how you start this off. And you don't have to do it the way I've done it, but this is a good way to look at this data. The other thing I've done is now you can compare one. So over here in the right-hand column, you can add the junior portfolio review to see how they improve from sophomore to junior. Again, you don't need to change any of these variables because we only have one set in there. So then you hit submit. And we have a comparison. And as you can see here, sophomores are in blue, juniors are in red. And now I can look at the data and say, oh, somehow our kids got less proficient at writing in their junior year. Critical analysis went down. Research went up a little bit. Defense went up substantially. Overall, it went up. In the sophomore or in the junior portfolio review, it went up a little bit. And as with the sophomore, these bars are all clickable. So I can look and see how we did overall. There are numbers: basic, proficient, distinguished. Here are our list of students who are basic, proficient, and distinguished in the junior portfolio. And you don't have to do them side by side. You can clear this one back out if you put it on select an assessment. We'll just go to juniors only, submit. There are the juniors. We can look at the seniors, submit. So this gives us our, wait, no, there, it was still loading. There we go.